with regard to the border situation in Arizona, we have had obviously ongoing problems on the border. We share such a large border with Mexico, but there have been some considerable successes. And one of the successes over the past several years has been in the so-called Yuma sector, where we've seen apprehensions go from about 140,000 in fiscal year 2005 to about 6,000 last year. And so considerable success. That contrasts with the Tucson sector, which has seen a drop, I think because of the economy, we've seen a drop anyway, but not nearly as significant. In fact, there were about 87,000 apprehensions in the Tucson sector. One of the things that I think just about everybody attributes the success in the Yuma sector to is something called Operation Streamline. And it allows so-called consequences program to be implemented, where first-time crossers are met with consequences. And it's pointed to by certainly law enforcement organizations in Yuma and along that sector, and just about everyone else recognizes it's been successful. The problem is just last year, it looks like DOJ has said that they're no longer going to implement parts of that, and that first-time offenders, unless there's some other circumstance, they will not be prosecuted. What are the specifics of this new policy, as you understand it, with Operation Streamline?
Certainly, U.S. Senator, I've had the opportunity to know somewhat about this matter from my discussions with my colleagues, the U.S. attorneys, not just along the Arizona border, but also in Texas and California. And they work hard every day to keep our borders safe and essentially to protect the people in their districts, but also to deal with this ever-growing problem. And I believe that, again, I'm not familiar with the current status of Operation Streamline, but as it relates to first-time prosecutions of individuals, individuals are still being prosecuted. And to the extent that a first-time crosser would not be prosecuted, they still would be subject to just pure removal without there being a criminal case involved. And I believe that the issues in managing the program have had a great deal to do with resources, particularly with the budget constraints that offices have found themselves under in recent years. But I can assure you, Senator, that the commitment to protect the border is strong, not only among the U.S. attorneys who work on the border, but throughout the U.S. attorney community and the department, and would be one of my priorities also as Attorney General.
As I mentioned, this is what distinguishes the Yuma sector from the others, is the success with this program. If you're saying now that it's a budget issue, why haven't we seen concern about the budget or those budget aspects? Why hasn't DOJ come to Congress and said, we are having issues here? And so in order to continue with this program, we're going to need additional funding. To your knowledge, has that happened?
I'm not aware of what's gone into the specifics of the department's budget. I'm generally aware of the budget as it relates to U.S. attorneys generally, but not the department as a whole, or as it relates to specific programs, so I'm not able to provide that information to you. It is certainly something that I would be working closely on should I be confirmed as Attorney General.
I guess I'll put it this way, barring budget issues, is this a program that you're committed to, or do you have other issues with it?
Certainly it's a program that I think has been effective. I think there have been concerns raised about resources and about the way the program has been managed from the judiciary and others. We're always trying to be responsive to all of the parties involved in these. But with respect to the issue itself, I'm certainly committed to working on that issue with you and the members of this committee, be it through Operation Streamline, if it can be maintained, or in an equally effective program.
Okay. Well, for the record, we've not, to my knowledge, received any concerns about budget issues with regard to Operation Streamline. It seems to have been another decision that was made, and I will be following up with you. We want to make sure that, let me just step back. I believe we need to do a lot with regard to immigration policy. I'm a sponsor of the comprehensive bill that went through the Congress 2 years ago through the House, or I'm sorry, through the Senate, didn't get quite through the House. So this isn't all we need to do, but it's a significant part of what we need to do, and Arizonans have paid the price, a disproportionate price for a long time for the federal government's failure to have a secure border. And so when we have programs like this that work, and we see, success in one sector, and everybody can point to that, then it's very disturbing when DOJ pulls back on that, and we fear that that Yuma sector, as the economy kicks up again and crossings are more frequent, that we're going to have the same problems that we had a few years ago, and that just, we can't go on with that. Secretary Johnson is in Arizona, or just visited Arizona, visited the border. He's done that a few times, met with the ranchers with some of their concerns, particularly in the Tucson sector. And there's still a lot that needs to be done, and it's going to require a real partnership between a lot of people to make sure that it works.